We need to continue our meeting, please. Okay, the first item on the wordsmith, nope, he's not back there. Hold on. He'll be back this way.
Everybody left.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, we're still gonna have fun. I don't know why everybody left. Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
He's ready.
Yeah, you're on.
Now?
She just noticed that.
She must have touched it. I don't think it was. Thought it was.
You notice we see CDC's here again tonight.
We're waiting for the minute taker. There he is. Okay. Please let the minutes show that all 5 members are still present for the workshop. The one item on the agenda, the one main item, is the boat trailer parking. Mel, please bring us up to date on what you've done this week. I know you've done a lot of work with all the agencies concerned.
Certainly can, Your Honor. I did provide some pictures in the folder, Mark, if you would go to that folder. Visual aids, you might say. Right, that first one there, yellow, is what we call the back area of the boat ramp. And we understood by talking with the people at the St. Joe Company that we didn't lease all of that property, and that is correct.
We did or did not?
Let's go to the next one first.
I didn't hear what you said. I didn't either.
That is from our lease, and that is the actual property that we have leased. If you go to the next one, it's much easier to read. You can see that very top swale, like on the upper right-hand section. That swale is right through the middle of the previous yellow section. And so as long as we stay south of that swale or ditch, whatever you call it, we are just fine. And so when speaking with the St. Joe Company reps, as long as we do that, they're okay with it. I asked them about what kind of base for the rock and that sort of thing, kind of what standards they would require for a surface. And they said all we had to do was kind of do what is out there now in the rest of the area, which is so many inches of crush and run. Philip and his guys went out and measured that we would probably utilize half of that area south of the swale. That's about a roughly 140 by 140 by 6 inches deep type of rock. We're talking roughly $8,000. So the cost was not near as much as some people had led us to believe. So it's roughly $8,000 to fix it. So that will establish a back area for us to have some longer-term boat trailer parking. And of course, once we get to that point, we've established that yes, we can do it. It's up to the board, of course, to discuss what they want to do with any potential fees or anything like that. So that's where I turn it back over to you folks.
Mel, we do in fact have a contractor that provides crush and run.
Philip has some contractors out of Mariana.
Dolomite of Mariana.
Dolomite out of Marion.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Bay County is actually double what Mariana is. So we get all of our stuff from Mariana.
And do those guys also spread?
No, sir. They just bring it to us. We push out with the backer.
Okay, but we could do the spread.
Oh yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's roughly, you know, the storm box is.
Yes.
It's about that far back, and then from one swale to the other swale wide, which is 140 by 140.
Where are they going to bring the road in when they start with the bridge?
It will hug that swale on the north.
Oh, on the north side.
So it won't actually go through our parking area later.
It will not go through the parking area.
It will kind of
go
The
around.
original plan was to go through our current,
Right,
right through the middle. We've asked them to jack it up a little bit so it follows that swale. That way it wouldn't take away from some of our parking.
that's gonna be blacktop.
Yes, or some asphalt, whatever.
Yeah, well, that's to St. Joe's specs. We don't have anything to do with the blacktop.
We have nothing to do with that. That's
Okay.
between DOT and St. Joe.
Okay. That sounds pretty good.
I like it that way.
It's gonna be nice. And when's this supposed to be done? The bridge?
The bridge construction will start approximately August of 2017, so we're a little over a year away from starting. So
Oh.
probably about this time next year is when they'll start working in that temporary road.
All right, so $8,000. How much money do we have from the boat ramp fees to cover that so that we don't take it from our budget?
As of 4/11 this afternoon, we have $31,570.26. It will require a budget amendment because you can't expend out of that fund. It has to come out of the general fund.
31,000.
570.26.
Requires a budget amendment.
Nice. Okay.
So how many boat trailers do you possibly think that area is going to accommodate?
Pay a lot.
A lot? Like, give me a number.
Well, I mean, all boat trailers. are
50?
different.
I know, 50?
20.
Oh, okay, to me, that's not a lot. 20 is not a lot.
Well, the whole-
You may get 30.
Yeah, okay, all right, so I'm on the same page, okay.
But a total would be more than that, right? A grand total.
No, the boat trailer parking, we're talking about the additional area because you gotta have about 14 feet. Some boat trailers are 10
Yeah.
feet wide.
Yeah,
So with a two-peak walking space, that's only 10 long, but it's 140 deep. But you've gotta have 32 feet, give or take, to back the trailer in, chief. And then in the area, so that's about 50 feet, so that's about half the lot. You might have a row down the middle and one row, and a row back on either side, based on what, I'm talking off the top of my head, but it's a 140 square. You got 10 here, and maybe some in the middle.
yeah, and that's, hopefully, everybody will be considerate and park the right way, because it's
Yeah.
not gonna be lined, you're not gonna know where to go, so they're gonna have to, in my opinion, they need to monitor themselves. I'm great with that. I'm not we are gonna continue the discussion about charging. Okay, so personally, I think we do it for them out of the boat launch parking, out of the boat launch money. We do not monitor that. We let them monitor themselves, so that we don't continue to use city resources for, I mean, we have to go down there and monitor the boat launch area. So you see a trailer that's, been there for, 4 years and the grass has grown up, okay. But I'm not for, sending the cops down there every day and watching the tags I'm not for that. I think that's over and above.
So you think the $10 for people launching their boats enough to charge? And we're creating roughly 20,000 a year from that.
30,000 a year, 20,000 a year.
I don't disagree with that. I think the police have better things to do than check boat trailers.
If we don't check, won't that create the same problem that we originally had of boat trailers there for a very long period of time?
My thought about that is yes, we will. As long as my problem with having boat trailers where we are now is that it impedes the flow of people backing down in and using the boat launch. If they are in the back 40 and it doesn't impede the flow of the boat launch people that are paying $10, I don't care how long you stay there. Can Mark go back to the area? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Your comments?
You got more comments? You haven't made one yet.
No, I don't have a comment.
I don't mind charging, I don't mind putting a stick around. I do think that yes, we have a bigger area, and we want to accommodate the renters because they don't have any place to park. And if we don't identify when they've come or when, whatever we want to, how we want to identify, we're still going to have people, whether it's 2 or 3 or 4 people there that are keeping it there for months, which are not leaving room for the renters, and that's why we're doing this.
I actually agree with both of you. If we can get this done for $8,000 or even $10,000
Yeah.
and provide extra parking, and we can do it in short term, and we continue to collect at the boat ramp and still enforce that and get all those loose trailers out of the boat ramp area, we're going to accomplish what we want to accomplish. But I agree with you, Linda. I have a boat, and I decided to put it in slip 13 at the marina. So I'm just gonna park my trailer over there all the time for free. That's not what we're doing here. There could be some simple administrative control, a green shoe tag tied to the winch handle that said, this trailer was brought in here on this day and it's supposed to be gone by this day. As simple as that, self-controlled, but they just come by City Hall and get a free ticket to put on their trailer to identify who it belongs to.
Oh, okay, so explain that system again to me. Say that one
Something
more
very
time.
simple. Just some shoe tags with a string on it. You write your name on there, the date your trailer came into the storage area, and the anticipated date that it's going to leave. Whether that's 1 day or 10 days or 2 months. But it will eliminate that random trailer coming in from my house, and I leave it over there all year where it should be stored at the space place.
And I've thought about that, and I think to go to City Hall and get it, go to the CDC or get it, I don't know.
It's a
what it
free
is.
tag.
Right, and on weekends, the rental, if they rent from the rental agency, then the rental agency should be able to provide that with their key in their packet. If they know they're gonna have a boat, here we go.
That's very easy.
I mean, we're trying to work with CDC and the rental
Follow.
agencies, so to make their life a little bit easier. And so maybe they can, come and help us on weekends.
I have a clarification question, since if it comes to City Hall, it's gonna be me helping them get it figured out. Why do we care how long they're staying if we're not limiting how long they can put it there? Why are we tagging them at all? Why do we need to put a tag on
To
it?
eliminate flagrant abuse.
But how are you gonna eliminate it if you don't have an ordinance that says you
So
can't
we'll
keep
have,
it?
yeah.
Well, we're
we'll
gonna
have-
make them think we're watching them closer.
I'm just thinking, why have the expense of buying the tags and having the office deal with another thing up there
So
that,
we still have to define, we
Well-
still have to have some kind
A
of
time frame.
time frame.
I'm saying you still gotta have some control, but you gotta put some control in the ordinance, I suppose.
Whether it's 14 days or,
We have someone back there.
But, one second, even though, well, let's just say somebody rented slip 55 in our public, in our public, and they need to put the trailer there all summer, 6 months. Okay, 6 months, that's a legitimate rental. What I'm saying is, Southbound Charters can't store his trailer over there forever when he's got his boat in his own personal slip. That's just an example. I pick on him since we pick on him a lot. But I'm talking about anybody. Why would I rent the space place if I can just go over there and just drop it off for nothing?
Okay, so let me think about that for just a moment. So.
We don't want somebody over there all year round. It defeats the purpose of having free parking for visitors.
But legally, if we don't have some kind of a time frame, can we say you can't do it anymore? If we don't have it in the ordinance, if we don't have some kind of time frame?
That's a good question.
The only time we've really had a problem with trailers was during snapper season.
No, we actually had-
it's- Yeah.
We actually had residents leaving their great big three axle trailers over there, and they put their boats in their own slip, their own house, and they put the trailers over there,
Okay, where were they gonna keep it? You say the Space Center?
the space place.
Well, what if they're full?
Well, they are full.
So what do you do with the trailer?
You put it at your house. They just didn't want to put it at their house. I'm
Well, I
talking
don't
about
blame
some
them. It doesn't look good.
Specific instances. They just didn't want their trailer in their yard, so they.
Well, I think it'd be
carried it over
nice for
there.
them to have somewhere to park their trailer. I don't think we need to be in the city business, but if there's nowhere else to park it, I'd rather see it parked out there in the woods than I am in front of somebody's house or in the driveway. It looks a lot better in the community if you don't have those boat trailers
Well, then
parked
you're
there.
taking up, the point is of us even doing this is to accommodate the visitors. So you just,
Well, what is the harbor, do we still have a harbor master?
yes.
Yeah, but he's a contracted employee, and his only job is to rent boat slips
Okay, okay,
and monitor them. He doesn't have city duties.
okay.
Please, up here.
Hi, Kimberly Show. Just have a suggestion. 102 Canal Parkway. Just have a suggestion with the tagging system. And I think you should define long-term, short-term, whatever it is. I think that'd be appropriate place for people to park their trailers for a short period of time to accommodate both visitors and residents who use the ramp and leave their trailer for some time. The tagging system, while the Mexican Beach Welcome Center would be more than happy to assist in that matter, I think you're better off just putting a box down there with shoe tags in it, just like the harbor master's box, and then he or someone goes down and checks them periodically throughout the day. You don't have to, because while they're there, they can just go ahead, pull their shoe tag out of the box, write on it, "I'll provide pins," and they can leave it there. That way they don't have to drag their trailer 18 different places, because they go to City Hall at 5:30 or 4:30 on Friday, and City Hall's already closed, so they have to come all the way back to the Welcome Center. And so that would just be my suggestion, would just put a box there, just like at the Harbor Master. and
Have you been
fill-
talking to my wife?
I'm sorry, no.
My wife come up with an excellent idea. If we were going to charge, make it the honor system, just like we do the boat
Right.
ramp. Nobody has to do anything. You
I don't
have
think the
a
boat ramp's really
tear
an
off
honor
shoe
system.
tag. Keep going, but.
And they can't come to they can't come to the Welcome Center on Saturday and Sunday either.
But that's a good idea, because then,
We'll have a box out front of the
Oh.
Welcome Center.
but that's a good idea, to
We'll
have
be
it
open on
down
Monday,
with
though.
boat
I like
trailers.
that idea. I like
And
it.
then we're not, then the rental agencies don't have to get involved either.
Or they
can
can,
handle it.
yeah.
Right, or
Yeah,
they can.
absolutely,
Right.
they can. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. Yeah, and then, okay, so then we do need to have a time frame. I agree that we need to have some kind of a time frame. And if you find one, chief, in there that doesn't have a shoe tag, you take the appropriate measures. I mean, we still need to sort of monitor it, but, you know, if you
And what would that be?
the appropriate measures?
Yes, ma'am.
Tow that baby. I don't know, what are the appropriate measures? The appropriate measures, they can't be there. So what would you do?
The signs are back. We don't enforce the no trailer parking.
You'll have your no trailer parking signs, and I don't know that we have to have 10,000 of them, but, so they can't park in the white area up there. We're gonna have to have it defined where the trailer parking is.
To make some new signs that say boat trailer parking.
I have a solution for that too. When you first come into the boat ramp and everybody's looking at the water and it's very shallow right there and you can't do anything else, put a nice pictogram sign up right there that shows boat launch parking, trailer parking, boat ramp in a pictogram type form where it's just real easy to see where you're going.
Kind of like this.
Signs confuse people.
No, not like that.
Pictogram is easy.
That's complicated.
They'll figure it out. Fishermen are gonna figure it out. They'll figure it out.
So since we're gonna have to draft
Figured it out
this,
wrong.
I think I have a pretty good grasp of how we're gonna draft it. I just need to know the time frame.
So we're not gonna have the police going there every day.
No.
There's no need to if we're not going to
They
enforce it.
need to go every day if they're the ones collecting the boat launch fee, but that needs to be collected.
Well, I like
because
that idea.
that's what's paying for this.
I like the idea of all the visitors thinking we're monitoring it real closely, and maybe they're gonna try to be on their best behavior, and we don't do anything.
We have to collect
We
the
are
boat launch
monitoring it
money.
every day closely.
Well, we're trying to get where we don't have to do that, right?
No, they have to
No, we
collect
have
the
to
boat
go down.
launch money.
Well,
They have to collect the boat launch money.
I know, but he doesn't have to drive around and check,
No.
so it's go get the money and come back.
Right.
We need to define what the council wants done at the boat ramp. for the officers.
We got that. Remember, we just bagged those no overnight parking signs. If we go with the plan that I laid out at the last meeting, we created this new parking area for trailers. And then there will be no overnight parking of trailers
Correct.
at the boat ramp. That's for the boat ramp.
Right,
And we'll enforce that.
right.
You can
But as
get-
far as them not paying for their boat launch, we also checked with that as well.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, so you monitor the same thing that you've been monitoring all along?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely, yes.
And a trailer with no tag on it is an abandoned vehicle.
Even if it's in that area.
Whatever area, yes.
Yeah, it's an abandoned vehicle. We have no reason to believe it's not abandoned.
Okay.
Take a stab at this.
Okay, but you still need some kind of a time frame. We still need a time frame.
It could be a big one.
6 months?
When we open up the 55 brand-new slips, I guarantee you they're gonna stay full.
You know, those people don't, they're not staying here 6 months.
Why can't we say 14 days, and if they need it longer,
They just get another shoe tag.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they could abuse the system. Either
Yeah,
way.
either way, they're gonna find a way to abuse the system.
Well, if we're not gonna regulate it from the get-go, then we don't need to worry about it. We don't need to worry about that
It's okay
until
with
it
me not
becomes
to
an issue.
regulate it at all.
Until it becomes an issue.
It's okay with me. But then you can't, so then what's the point of the shoe tag? Because,
Identification and some way of knowing whose trailer's there. We have no way of knowing unless chief runs a state records check.
right,
And
yeah.
then most of the tags that people are putting on now are not, they're just putting on the tag.
Yeah, I'm okay with not doing anything at all if we're not gonna have a time frame. But
I like the tag where they put their name, where they're staying, or a phone number or something, even though some would put a false phone number, we know that.
We're trying to make this easy.
I'll take a stab.
Okay, he's gonna take a stab at it.
Okay, the first thing that we need, does, by consensus before we do anything else, does everybody agree about making the extended parking at boat ramp?
Yes.
And
Yes.
since it's an $8,000 thing,
Yes.
that Mel can do that.
Okay, it's
Yes.
$8,000 that's our limit?
Yeah.
But we have to put on our agenda to pass a budget amendment
Yeah.
to transfer the funds. Unless Kimberly is going to give us the money.
Yeah,
That's what
right.
I was gonna.
I don't have the authority to give you $8,000 by my statutes.
By the way, it was 12.
Oh, well, I don't have that authority either. My limit's a little lower than that just automatically. But I do think that this is something that's very important to the CDC. And if the city's willing to work with us to help our visitors have the best experience possible in Mexico Beach and allow them to have a short-term parking area for their boat trailers while they are renting wet slips and going out and playing, then I would be more than happy to take the amount, 8,000,
Maybe 10.
10,000, to my board to see if we would be willing to pay for some or most of that
Or all.
funding.
All right, we'll go for that. Thank you very, very
You're welcome.
much.
So,
Can you do it before we have to have a meeting?
Next to.
can I see a calendar?
Meeting,
Because it takes two readings to pass an ordinance.
You could have an emergency meeting.
July 12th will be our
This
meeting.
don't.
July 12th will be the council.
Can you go on the clock and click up, so I need to see a calendar, sorry.
4th of July is on Monday.
No, I'm for my board meeting purposes, so I can tell you. Thank you. My board meets on the 21st.
Of this month?
No, ma'am.
July.
July.
Yeah, it's already passed.
Unless we had an emergency meeting.
Well,
Okay, so wait a minute. So we can do a budget amendment and then withdraw it.
You can do a first reading, and then the final reading, we can keep the ball rolling.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, why can't we get it going, no matter who's gonna pay for it?
Right.
We're still gonna have to expend it out anyway,
Yeah.
even if they're paying for it. So would you pay it direct or would you pay us and then? Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I think
we would work that out. When we bought the beach rake, we paid Barber directly.
Okay.
You never turn down money. period.
We'll figure it out.
Yes, you do, but.
Okay, so Linda and I will take it to our board to see how much of this we would be willing to financially assist with.
Thank you.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
Thanks. Will you
Okay,
come
we'd
pick
like
up my
you-
trash tomorrow? Just kidding.
Actually, I appreciate
Thank you.
the CDC coming forward
Yes.
and showing a new spirit of cooperation with the council.
Yes, thank you.
And we certainly want to do that, we all too.
Thank you.
So you got all that?
I think I've got it all.
Okay,
I'll
great.
help you with the word.
Just hit her for that 24th, never mind. Miscellaneous.
Do we have to decide right now if we're doing time limit or not?
I'll draft an
Or
ordinance
can
and
we
we
do
can
that?
work it out.
Okay,
Comes up with.
fine, okay,
It's just, I still think it's going to be irrelevant, but
okay.
Just irrelevant.
irrelevant. If you put a tag on there and put another tag on there, it's the time frame's going to be irrelevant
Okay, fine.
if you're not going to patrol.
We'll figure it out.
I was running on to go down to that area.
Okay, great. Miscellaneous.
I have one. Budget meetings, July 11th. I had it set for 5:01. There has been discussion of board members of saying, let's workshop it at 9 a.m. What's the wish of the board before I post it?
I'd rather do it during the day personally.
I'd like to do it one day and just hash it out all day long.
What day,
Well, I think most of us could do it at 9 a.m., but some.
Yeah, but
for
Mary
some
works.
people it's a
people still
problem.
have to
Mary
work.
works, so,
I do too.
What day is that? Oh, that's a
When
It'd be
Monday.
Monday the 11th. That's our first one. I mean, I'm all in favor of cutting the meetings down and just let's sit down and get through it. But it's up to you guys when works for you.
I don't think we can do a whole budget in the city or two.
Not in one setting, or two settings, or three, how many? As
I'm gonna hold y'all hostage until we're done.
long as I have plenty to eat. Be okay.
Gary, can you not come at 9?
I'll do whatever I have to do for you people.
Right.
Well, we'll do the best we can for you, Mary.
Yeah, right. I hear you, JR.
9 o'clock, please.
On the 1st, or on the 11th at 9
Yeah,
a.m.
we'll start it off and
And
get
just
going.
go until we cry.
So you can ignore the other calendars. We'll set further ones as we need.
I'll have to check with my wife that she's off that day.
I'm sure we have to get rid of you.
Excuse me.
Was that July 11th at 9 a.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anyone else, please?
I have a question, actually from Mel. I actually have a couple questions, won't take long. The work plan that you started to provide us, the last one I saved on my computer anyway was March. I found that very, very helpful in keeping me organized, but have we had another one since March?
We have not.
Okay, so because
The
the one I
intent was
had in
to-
March, we had a lot of things that we need to mark done.
Right. The intent was to provide that for the council on a monthly basis during the weekly report, and I've not had the chance to finish that of late. So the plan is to get it back on your table.
Okay.
and can we do that monthly, even if it's just to
Sure.
say,
That was the
we
intent all
haven't done
along.
anything this month? We haven't moved any of these, okay. I was asking the same question in my mind.
And Chief, does there seem to be a huge reduction in bear reports?
Yes, ma'am.
What's up?
No, that was on the road in the light.
I think the lids have helped tremendously.
I think they have too. What else can we possibly attribute that to?
Maybe the bears are as confused as we are about
The
garbage.
garbage is gonna be out.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good.
It has helped in the areas where we were at the most calls. The bear resistant lids have.
I think so too. So I think that's good. That's wonderful. So kudos. One more. The streetlights on Highway 98. Who pays for those? The city pays for those, even though it's a state highway?
Correct. We get a street lighting check every year to assist in the cost, but it doesn't cover it all.
Okay, that's all I have.
But we also check them if they're blinking on and off, or if they're off. We send in their information to Duke Energy to get them repaired.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, but you're talking about the streetlights all over town?
Yes, sir.
'Cause I just happened to run across Tommy Davis today, who had a brand-new list of every streetlight in town that's out, and it was about 30 of them.
Yes, sir.
They need to come do their due. Any others?
I actually spoke with Duke Energy about that very thing today, because they are not exactly on the fast track, and I understand they got a lot to do, I get that. So I reached out to them to see if we could possibly change their own light bulbs, and they won't let us.
Even if you have a great lift to use.
Liability issues won't let us do it. I begged and begged and begged, but
Okay.
won't let us.
So Duke Energy changes the light bulbs,
Yes, ma'am.
but we pay for the electricity. Got it.
We get roughly $9,000 from the state a year.
But 30 out is a lot
Okay.
for this
The
size
same
town.
ones that have been out for a while.
We report them
I
online.
mean, there are some new ones, but
You report them online to Duke Energy. Anyone can report a light, street light out.
Oh, I see what you're telling me.
And we do.
well, I know the police department turns them in, I turn them in, Tommy does a run of the city. We try to do it once every couple months, and somebody might get fixed sometimes, but a lot of times they don't get replaced, at least not in a timely manner.
I agree, both of you guys are right. I glanced at that list and saw some of the same streetlights that have been out for a long time.
And if we find, if the officer notates that there'll be a piece of that orange flagging tape, be tied around it, and that's, because a lot of times we'll put the exact location where it's at, and
They
for
miss
whatever
it.
reason, they say they didn't find anything wrong with it.
Maybe, would it help if we wrote a letter to somebody in Duke rather than emailing them? There's gotta be somebody that reads letters somewhere.
Well, I mean, I've emailed them, I've spoke with them over the phone, I met with them in person. Nothing's changed.
It's just a priority list. That's-
Right. That's what it boils down to.
Well, we have a high priority as far as I'm concerned. I mean, 30 lights out in a town this size, you know, we ought to,
Took 18 months to get 3 lights replaced in the police department parking lot, so.
18 months.
yeah.
Maybe we need to give their trucks a ticket or two coming through town. I mean, we need to get somebody's attention somewhere.
You can't say that.
I'm sorry, I can't say that. I take that back.
I'll be very brief, Your Honor. I just wanted to kind of dovetail on what Councilwoman Blackburn was saying about the Bears. There was a presentation by FWC to some county officials and some of my fellow cohorts in other municipalities. The presentation focused on success stories, and we are known as a success story because the number of bear calls has gone down considerably. FWC did give us money for those lids for the dumpsters, and so it's nice when Mexico Beach can get some positive press out there, so I really appreciated Caitlin and her crew for doing that.
Good deal.
A comment, Philip, the guys and streets and everything are working very hard. Everything's looking real good for the weekend. Understand we've got so much going on, they can't possibly get all the debris picked up and everything, but all in all, the 98 looks real good. We'll get that trash cleaned up the next couple of days, and I think we're in for a real good 4th of July.
Yes, sir.
Well, we need to address the guy that said 30, what street was it, 36th Street, where something's been,
It's a vacant lot, there's a pile of trash.
Mr. Hill.
yeah, that
mentioned
needs
it.
to be addressed. I don't know what's going on with that.
It's on south,
Where at?
36 south. 36 south.
But you know, we actually, when we get a lot of calls from people all the time. Oh, somebody's dropped something here, somebody's dropped something there. You know, I mean, are we just gonna go back to picking up household debris because we can? I mean, I just need to know what y'all want us to do.
It's a problem. I was talking to somebody today about that very thing. I am the only one on my street that puts my yard debris on my property. Everybody else takes it to some other place, so you can't tell who is dropping stuff off. I mean, I understand completely. Here's an example. On my street, there's a section on a vacant lot. It's on the easement, but it's in front of a vacant lot. There's a little pile of stones. It's been there for, I mean, it's not regular rocks. Somebody put it there. And so the guy who mows the easement has to mow around it, so now it's got grass growing up. It's been there for a long time. You can't fine somebody for putting that there because I don't know who put it there. It's probably somebody on the street, but, so.
I understand what you're saying.
So I understand what you're saying.
I do get a lot of people who call up and
Yes.
say, some Joe Blow came by my house.
Oh,
and dumped stuff on the other side or in front of my house. We deal with it all the time. You know,
Yeah, I understand
Yeah,
what you're saying.
construction material and all kinds of stuff.
normally it's
Couch,
just,
chair.
yeah, normally it's stuff like that.
Yeah,
Well, I think the citizens understand that they can put yard debris in the garbage can, right?
They do understand.
Yes? They don't understand?
yeah, but that's a completely separate issue from what he's trying to solve
I'm
right
talking
now.
household debris.
I understand what
Yeah,
you're saying.
we're talking mattresses.
Yeah, yeah. So what do? If it's on a person's lot, you know who to talk to, but if it's,
What we do.
I don't know what you do.
After the first call, what we do, somebody calls up there, we had 16th Street. A guy called, said there's a pile of junk out in front of his place.
Yes.
Doesn't know how it got there, all he knows is that his neighbors are continuously piling things up. So I went down there and I checked it. Now, I do know that a lot of times when somebody calls up and says, I have a pile that's been sitting there for 3 weeks, I will know it has not. You know, that probably gets me more than anything. But once we know about it, we try to watch it as best we can. If we catch somebody, we call a few doing it. Not everybody, but we have caught a few. And if we haven't caught somebody in a couple of weeks, we go pick it up.
I know, yeah. And that just encourages.
But what I have realized is that it doesn't matter what we do, it's wrong.
Yeah.
That's what I do now.
That's a no-win situation. That's a no-win situation.
What did you say?
About
What did you just say about being wrong?
no matter what we do, it's wrong.
What do you mean?
I mean that no matter what decision we make, no matter how we try to handle something, it's going to be the wrong way. You know, I've been, with the sanitation orders, for instance, I've been threatened to have my butt whipped. I've been cussed out. I've been called everything under the sun. We try to make, what's the word I'm looking for here? I just had it. Thank you. Compromise. With some people, and I get chewed out, or we get chewed out for a compromise, and we're told maybe we should. As the public works director, who's supposed to be responsible for all the guys, public and utilities, on a day-to-day basis, I've got to the point, I'm not really sure which way to tell them to go. You know, sanitation, yard debris, household debris, you know, we're gonna get away from picking up the household debris. We're gonna start charging people so that we can make some money back. You know, well, we need to get over and get this picked up, we don't know who it belongs to. I understand that, but give us a chance to try to catch them first. You know, we actually know how to do our jobs, but with the continuous negativity that we get on a daily basis, it's hard to continue to do that job. I mean, you don't know if you're doing something right, you don't know if you're gonna tee off this person or what happens. You know you can't make everybody happy, but you also feel at the end of the day that no matter what you do, it's wrong. It just doesn't matter what you do, whatever you do is gonna be wrong
With some people.
with a lot of people.
And I think that probably because you want to keep the city clean, got it. We're pressuring you, keep the city clean. And then what you're saying is you got this pile of, now, what upset me was that, you know, he said it's been there for
6 months.
6 months. Okay, that's too long.
If it has been there 6 months.
If it has been, that's exactly right. I understand that. So that's too long. Actually, it's probably a lot less than that. What that magic number is, I don't know. But I understand we need to allow you to see if you can figure out who it belongs to so that you can address that person. I agree, you're in a no-win situation, Philip.
Well, on this, as far as code enforcement goes, he's already stated it does not belong to either one of the property owners where the debris piles are located at. So that's automatic defense for the property owners who's actually by ordinance is on their property.
So they're responsible for it no matter what, is what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. So are we gonna charge the person with the duty to remove within 30 days? Or they're gonna tell us it wasn't us that put it there?
I see what you're saying for that particular, I see what you're saying. Interesting.
It's all in the sanitation ordinance. What we're talking about is in the sanitation ordinance. That's not addressed.
That's not addressed, you said?
It is not addressed. What we're talking about is not
Exactly.
addressed in the
Okay.
sanitation ordinance. We need to tweak that.
Well, that's okay, we'll add that to the list.
But in the same instance, I mean, you've got public works, are they gonna charge the lot property owner after we find out who owns the property with the pickup
Yeah.
of the debris?
I see what
Or
you're
are
saying.
we gonna just pick it up as a city because?
And the
Yeah.
cost.
And that encourages it to happen more often. So I guess in that instance, perhaps, and we're not going to solve this issue tonight, but my suggestion would be, tell that property owner this is what's happening. More than likely, the property owner knows, but tell him it's happening, tell him it needs to be addressed.
Well, I think the mayor just hit it very well on the head. It's not addressed in the ordinance, and we need to put something in there.
All right, well, let's do
We need
it.
to try to put something in there.
So the police have to see someone dumping.
Right.
That's the only way we can find out who's doing it.
In the meantime, 40th Street on the left-hand side, halfway down, there's another pile that's been growing for just 2
Oh, I know
months.
that one real well. I know who's doing it, I just can't catch him doing it.
Yep, now we've got a accumulation just like you're talking about. It's household, brick bats, yard debris.
It's actually on the list for tomorrow, believe it or not.
So you know, you've already found it. Good, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I just want to say, because obviously we don't say it enough, how much we do appreciate the people in City Hall, and especially the Public Works Director.
He needed that, Sandy.
We all, everywhere we are, we hear from the people who are unhappy. I mean, everybody wants to write a letter when they're upset, and they want to yell at you when they're upset, and nobody ever says thank you. So I'd like to say that
I appreciate it.
for a lot of people.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
That was nice.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.